Hey guys, welcome back to Embers and Ash. My name's Ashley, if you didn't know. And today I want to talk to you guys about my journey through figuring out what I want to do with my life, or at least how far I've gotten with it. Specifically, how I went from being a career woman to a homemaker. So this whole homemaker thing is what's in right now. Everyone talking about being homemakers, which is really just I think anyone who stays home and cares for it. So that's me. And I'm specifically making this video to help any moms out there who are in the thick of it, struggling because they feel like they don't fit in this role that they found themselves in. I have definitely been there, and coming from growing up being very career ambitious to now spending most of my days at home taking care of the house, it's quite a change, and I'm very happy to be where I'm at, and I just wanted to share my story, how I got here. So I did come up with a video a couple years ago now. It might be a little cringy to watch, but I did come out with a video about leaving my corporate job for labor work. That does tie into this, but basically I grew up wanting to be a scientist. I went to school for chemical and environmental technology. I got a job in that field as an environmental technician. I would do environmental sampling, soil sampling, water sampling, office work as well. It's all part of the gig. And as much as I enjoyed the science aspect of it, I hated corporate life. So I left that and got into the environmental field doing landscaping. You guys know that. And even through that transition to landscaping, I still was career focused in that I wanted to learn more about landscaping. I wanted that to be my focus. Obviously, that's why I was doing it. And then, Josh and I decided to have children, and I was really excited to go on maternity leave. Who wouldn't be? You don't have to work. And I didn't expect to become a stay-at-home mom because life is so expensive, but things worked out. I got YouTube going for me as good supplemental income, and here we are. And the first year of Rook's life was, despite the pandemic, a breeze. I loved baby life. I really felt like I could do everything I wanted along with being a mom because he was a easy baby, very much a blob, so I could do my video work and care for him and everything was fine. And then he turned 1, and you guys know I had a very hard time when he turned 1, or that whole year of 1 to 2. I was pregnant, but also a lot of my freedoms got taken away as he demanded more of me. And that's when I was really struggling because I couldn't focus on any sort of career, and I really was just a homebody caring for a child. Or I wasn't a homebody, but I was stuck at home. Prior to having kids, I also just was never a homebody. I always liked to be out with friends. I definitely wasn't a cook. Everyone would make fun of me for my cooking. People still do. Fair enough. Not a cook, not a house person, not a cleaner, which, who likes cleaning, but still. I wouldn't even notice certain messes. I just wasn't about the house. If I would spend a whole day at home, I was very sad. And, we went through the pandemic, and that changed things for a lot of us. And it was a little helpful in that sense, forcing myself to get used to being home more, as it did for all of us. So having all these new responsibilities piled on me, being cooking, cleaning, housekeeping, taking care of the children, and having my hobbies and career taken away from me, or that's what it felt like. Not having time for those things when I had a toddler who needed all of my attention. That's what really broke me. And so I've been finding new rhythms, finding solutions to get those pieces of me back. And I have 2 kids now, so you would think I would be twice as busy, but it's actually a lot easier at this point, which that's its own video. But yeah, so what is different? One thing is I've really realized that cooking isn't something you're just good at or not good at. I feel like people talk about cooking like they talk about taking care of plants. People always saying, oh, I have a black thumb, like not having a green thumb. And it's like, no, you just don't know how to care for plants and you need to learn how to care for plants. Same thing. You don't just know how to cook, you have to learn how to cook. I don't know if that's obvious for you, but I still am not the best cook, but I've put the effort in to learn more, and so my cooking has improved, obviously. And I've also found something that's really helpful is finding what motivates you to do these things that you don't want to do, like cooking. For me, it's not necessarily like having a tasty meal. That's not my motivation, because I could order takeout and also have something tasty. On the flip side, saving money would be the motivation to not do takeout. But either way, my motivation I found is healthy eating. Not that we're the healthiest household, but we've really been putting a lot of focus on that over the past year. And I find it helps kind of give me that jump start to get in the kitchen and get cooking something, because I want us to have something good to eat. Meal planning has been huge for us, which I know is such a drag. Like, I hate that I'm into meal planning just because, like, I want to be more carefree than that. I want to just go to the store, buy some stuff, bring it home, and like not think about it. But it just works so much better when you plan out your week's meals. We do leave a bit of variability in there, like have some frozen meals, like meals that we've previously made, and we freeze half of it for those days when dinner falls through or, things happen. But it helps a lot with my cooking, because I don't want to have to, like in the moment, I don't want to have to think about what am I going to make tonight. I want to have it planned out, because then I'll actually make it. And it obviously helps save money too, because you're not wasting so much food. Another thing that I think all of us are trying to do these days is figure out our social life again after being locked down, especially transitioning into motherhood. That really complicates things. And so I'm really focusing on being intentional about socializing, because otherwise it just gets put on the back burner, and then I just feel really lonely and I don't know why. And it's like, well, obviously you haven't seen anyone besides your husband. So that's been super helpful. And along with that, time away from the kids, which I don't know if anyone's going to hate me for that. I love time with my kids, but time away from the kids isn't good because it's time away from the kids, but it means that it's time for me to do something for myself. I just recently joined a softball team, which is really fun. It's been so fun. And I love that it's social, that it's fun. And my brain isn't torn in two directions of what I'm trying to do and watching the children. It's like I get to put all my focus on something that's just enjoyable. That's been huge for me. I don't know if this is just like a my personality thing, but finding something that is only fun has been important, that being softball, because I so often find myself thinking, oh, why don't I do these things that I'll enjoy doing? But they're also production based or like productivity based. And so I find myself also getting frustrated with them, because you have the potential to fail at those things. Like working on the house, I do enjoy the renovations, but they can be stressful, obviously. Whereas softball, if we lose, who cares? We're just here having a good time. I don't tell that to my coach, but who cares? Really, like, I've been focusing on diversifying my life, and it's made such a difference. I'm so grateful to have a husband who's, an equal role in parenting and can take the kids, obviously, while I do things for myself as well. I also have been focusing on changing my mindset towards the things that I don't like to do, like cooking and cleaning. More of being like, well, everyone has things in their job that they don't want to do, and you still have to do it, right? Like pretty much no matter what your career is, there's parts of it that you aren't gonna like. So cooking and cleaning are the parts of my job that I don't like, and that's fine, and you just do it. I don't know if I'm ever gonna enjoy cleaning. Again, does anyone enjoy cleaning? But I have found that I do focus on it more, and I notice the lack of cleanliness more. And I think it's because I spend so much more time in my house than I have ever before. So I can get very like focused on those details, which can be good and bad because sometimes I get too focused on them and they stress me out and I need to just leave. But it does help me keep a cleaner house, you know, to a certain extent with kids. But I do feel a lot more pride in having a clean house, which is probably good. Also super important to learn how to leave the house with your kids. No hate on people who don't, but you might be happier if you learn how to do this. I often hear parents or moms say, like, I can't do these things with my kids. And like, I get it. Like, it is hard to take your children out, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more your children learn how to act in those situations. Like, if you're taking your toddler free range in a store for the first time, obviously they're gonna like want to rip everything off the shelves, but the more you do it, the more you teach them what they can and can't do, and they get better at it and they get easier in stores. Not saying you always have to have them free range in the store, but it's nice to not feel so limited, thinking I can't go to this place because I have my children with me, because then like you're never going to go to that store. At least that's how I feel. So those are kind of all the mindset changes I've had that have made me a lot happier being home with the kids as my primary role. Career-wise, that has been a big hang-up for me for over a year now, just wondering what am I doing? Because it's so fine to be a stay-at-home mom and to love doing that, but that's just not me. I often struggle to find examples of the life I want to live online. Like, I'm not that like homeschooling mom wearing a dress with an apron and having a million children, and I don't know, like, that's such a fun life that you're living, and I'm so happy for you, and I wish that I was that, but I'm not. And so I'm like, where do I fit in this, of wanting to be home with my kids, raising them, but also needing more than that. Where was I going with that? So I found just a huge importance on, like I said, diversifying my life and having something else to work on and build towards. That has been gardening for me. I've been putting so many hours mentally and physically into gardening since the start of this year, and it's made such a difference on my mindset because I like to grow. I like to grow things, but I also like to grow myself, grow my knowledge in something, grow skills in something, and that's why I've been sharing so much content on that topic. I do love YouTube still. Like, I like putting out videos, but I need something to make videos about. And that's what gardening has been for me lately. But the real kicker, the thing that has helped me the most through this confusing time of life of wanting a career and equally wanting to be home with my kids, is the perspective of, this is such a short period of time that I'm home with young kids, and after it's over, I can do whatever the hell I want, relatively. Like, I'm gonna be putting our kids in public school. That's the plan anyways. And so once they're in school, I'm gonna have 8 hours a day to find a career. And it's only, 5 years that I'm at home with these young kids, and they're never going to be young like this again. So just put as much effort as I can into raising them while still doing things for myself on the side, and not worry about like, but I don't have a career, I'm not building towards something, because that time will come. I am also only 28. I don't need to have this big career at 28. I think we can get so focused on how much we haven't accomplished when there still has been a lot of stuff I've done in my 20s. They just haven't built towards one big thing necessarily. So yeah, that is where I'm at. I'm very happy with where I'm at. Loving raising the boys. They're the friggin' best. I'm loving going out in the garden. I love bringing them out there with me. Rook has really grown to enjoying plants like myself. He's learning the names of plants, which just melts my heart. Seeing him show even the smallest amount of interest in the things that I'm interested in. And then all the other things just like are part of the journey. Like, you know, to have this life of getting to be home with my kids, I also have to clean and cook for them. It's just kind of how it works out, you know? Yeah, that's kind of how I went from career woman to homemaker. I still do feel like a career woman. I just don't have a career. Does that make sense? Like, I have that drive in me to work, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting lost in my train of thought now. But anywho, I hope this made some sort of sense to you and was encouraging, maybe. Was it? If you're also feeling lost and confused, I think a lot of us are, and you don't have to feel fully fulfilled in motherhood because you don't have to. I don't. And when I have something else going on, like my gardening, which has been giving me so much life, I love motherhood even more. So yeah, that's that. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.